Are we live?
We are live. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Woo wee. How are you?
Woo-hoo.
If you
I
don't
don't
know me,
care.
well, some people may not know us. I don't know. Where have you been? I'm just joking. But I am Mike Asherbrenner, the Redneck Connector, proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. And we have the one and only, no other than Dr. Constance Leland of Level Up Academy today. How are you, my dear friend?
Good. I'm hot. It's so hot right now. But my AC is on, so I'm good.
It, don't get me started. I, country people, as I'm gonna say, right? So I'm building resilience in about 85 degrees right now. I'm okay. So, hey, real quick, I'm going to let you chime in because you had a big event today. I heard all about it. Great, Deborah. And then we had Boz Porter put on his special event for the Hounds. That was enormous. We had Nicole Borghi Summit, Exit Strategies. That was off the hook. I spent 2 days there. Shameless plug. We got another one. All right. I get to speak tomorrow and I get to speak about stuff y'all never heard me speak about. So show up to that one. It's all over the Hounds. We're posting all over LinkedIn. And then what did you do today? You had a special guest and an awesomeness today. What was it?
Dr. Mark Lucky, actually, he's a practitioner, a chiropractor, but won like 9 awards in a row. But what I really brought him in is his research on the elixir, right? As we
Right.
age, we have inflammation and things like that. And I got introduced to this elixir and I took it myself just to test the products. I get free stuff a lot, from TikTok and everywhere else. And I usually don't create a video if I don't feel like the product is working. And I did. And I actually gave it to April and April loves it. And then I'm on his beta. He has a short beta testers on this new product that is actually stopping not only inflammation and aging, but also your appetite, right? When you eat too much junk, because I do eat chicharron. I love chicharron. I'm Filipino, okay? And to stop that craving a little bit. And it
Right.
worked. I was like, I want more of that. What is that? I want more of that. And then I demanded that he create something for wellness for ADHD people like me. So we'll see
Right.
how that goes.
Oh, folks, look, shameless plug. Last time I'll do it before we bring this big hearted legend up and really get to know him, folks. Get ready. Yeah, ask questions. We'll do our best to pull them up for you. Uh, Chat, network. All right, guys, this is unbelievable. I've never met in my entire life someone so successful yet down to earth, heartfelt, never forgot who he was. My goodness. All right. So, real quick, because we have so much momentum out here, hey, no strays out there. If you're trying to build a business, level up to the next level in that business, wherever you are in that journey, we got you. All right. We're not the only option, but we may be the option. And we probably have a partner that's better fit anyway, like Level Up Academy. So I tell you what, this ecosystem, check it out. Have a group call. Go to my LinkedIn profile, Redneck One. Check us out on YouTube. Tons of free, amazing interviews, advice, links. And we want to see people go out there and capitalize on that passion, right? You push it down, it keeps popping up like whack-a-mole. Stop it. All right. Don't do it for 40 years. And we're going to hear from the man himself, Subir Chowdhury, about this. Unbelievable. So before we get started, the folks are bringing the door down. Look, there's 12 comments and we ain't even, wow. Woo, look at, that's Subir. I got some viewers, but boy, his word got out quick. Yeah, dude. Hey, how's like this? Yes. All right. So real big shout out. He came to the show. We had Subir on the Mike King radio station on ESPN Live yesterday. And Kevin Smith, oh man, huge hearted. This guy, he is everywhere, y'all. He's got a lot of updates. I know it's been a while, but he is spreading kindness across the globe and dominating. I mean, they are turning it around. Property rates are going up, crime rates are going down, rate of return across cities are moving. This is insane. So thank you, Kevin, for what you're doing. He's got a full-time, gig leading a bunch of companies, and now he's doing this on top of it. So yeah, we come to the right place. And I had to give a shout out. This guy is the only person that could help me mentally and simplicity get healthier while I build my businesses. I got 4 businesses right at once. That's insane. So I love it. Thank you for your simplicity. This guy's got a good heart, and he's taking losses because he wants to go out there and connect with people. He wants these entrepreneurs and these executives to enjoy their life, right? You can't enjoy your life if you're stressed out and, in bad health and all that stuff. So harmony is the key word here. David is a great man. Y'all heard his story, tried and true. So without any other further ado, let's run this intro and get this amazing man up here. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Uh-oh. See, StreamYard, I'm blame StreamYard, even though it's me. Don't tell nobody. All right. Let's do it.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All right. Well, let me give him an intro. All right. I really enjoyed behind the scenes talk with Subir yesterday. You know, no cameras, nobody's there. I was kind of down, going through a lot of growth, and like water to a flower. I just perked up and I just started killing it today. So if this guy has that effect on a 30-minute shot random chat, buckle up, folks. Take notes, ask questions, get in there. Glad you came. All right, you're in for a treat. So let me put it, when your client list, all right, reads like the Fortune 500, yeah, and your work has generated billions in value, then y'all think you've earned the right to be called one of the top management thinkers in the world. All right, and that's exactly what this guy's accomplished. But how he's done it, even more miraculous. I mean, we're talking about transforming quality culture, right, to advising companies like GM, Caterpillar, Hyundai, right, on the service excellence. He spans across continents, industries, boardrooms at the highest level, right? And his insights have created lasting change for lots of leaders, not just temporary, lasting change for decades. So without further ado, let's bring him up, Mr. Subir Chowdhury. No soundboard.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
How are you today, my friend?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, well, you could tell I'm a little excited. I'm holding it in.
Yeah, you're always high energy. I love that.
Yeah, you too. And two, whoa, all three of us might be a firestorm. All right, so let's see. So let me kick us off, if you don't mind, CJ. Yesterday was totally inspiring and just really, I couldn't wait for the day. I knew the Hounds and the friends of the Hounds are going to get something out of this beyond belief. So Subir, people know you, again, as one of the top management thinkers today. Right? You have 15 books. Companies in the know you. All right, but your story didn't start there. You shared yesterday that you first came to the U.S. You couldn't even get a $200 loan, right? Yeah. Can you take us back to those early days, man? What was driving you before all of this, came to fruition?
Like before I came to the U.S. or
yeah, tell us the story. Right, you came.
Yes, I was born in a tiny little place called Chittagong, Bangladesh. That is the place I was born, and in Bangladesh, and influenced by my grandfather. He was an elementary school teacher. And Bangladesh, you have to understand, I was born in 1967. So 1971, we got the independence. So it was a pretty much war-torn country at that time. But anyway, when I was tremendously inspired by my grandfather, and I still, in fact, I wrote an article 30 years or 40 years later about talking about what my grandfather taught me in Bangladesh at that time. Now I'm teaching the same principle to Fortune 500 CEOs. I, in fact, wrote an article about it, that part. So what all started with a very simple story, very simple. So when I was like 5 or 6 years old, my grandfather, and as I said, like he's an elementary school teacher, right? So he used to give me a coin and a pen, and he used to say, should we choose one of the two, coin or the pen? So every time I choose the coin, he said, no, you never choose a coin. So he asked me, he said, why you choose the coin every time? So I said, look, Grandpa, I can buy some candies and this and that and toys or whatever. He said, no. If you choose, instead of a coin, if you choose the pen, what will happen? You will have millions of coins you will get with that pen. It will change your life. And so I said, why? What is the magic in the pen? He said, anything you see in the world, everything human created, is based on the pen. It's the idea, right? So I used to thought there might be some power in the pen, right? And he said when you read a book, if you like it or dislike it, you take the time. And I'm talking about at that time, there's no internet, right? Nothing at that time. So he said, you write a letter to the author. I said, Grandpa, I'm 7 years old, 6 years old. If I write a letter to an author, do you think that he will reply? He said, if they don't reply, write it again. I said, if I write 100 letters, if he doesn't reply, he said, write the 101st letter. He said, never give up, continuously write. So guess what happened? By the time I was 12, I became the friends of top laureates of the country. Any book I read, I used to write letters. If I don't reply, I write it again. So what happened was I became phenomenal friends with a lot of, so by the time I was 12, I was friends with some of the top intellect of the country. And those friends, those other friends introduced me to the actor, actress, different type of people. So by the time I was going to the college, I already developed a lot of my communication skill, leadership skill, because I was mixing with lots of intellectual people, and they mentored me. They used to love me as a boy, but it all started with the pen. And then he also taught me some other very simple. He used to tell me, okay, Subir, there is some pigs, piglets are playing. You go there and play with them. So I went there and came back. He said, okay, how you smell? I said, no, I don't smell good. He said, okay. So remember that you didn't smell good. I said, okay. Then 1 week later, he said, okay, play with those girls. So I play with these girls. He said, okay, now how you smell? I said, I smell like a talcum powder, right? Because in Bangladesh is a very hot country. Girls used to use a lot of talcum powder. He said, okay, at least you smell better than piglets. I said, yes. He said, always remember in life, whom you hang around with. If you hang around with the best of the best, people, one day you will become the best. So always remember that. So when I wrote my first book, 20 years later, when I wrote my first book in quality, I made sure that book's manuscript is read by every single quality giant of the world. So in Japan, in America, everybody read that book. So when that book came out, all those quality giants came in and launched that book. So because they all came in to launch my first book in quality, at the age of 27, all the people in the quality community was thinking, I'm the emerging leader in the field of quality. So it's the same principle. Think about it. It's the same principle. Always hang around with the people, because in life, I always think about in life, every day when we wake up, we have a choice to make. Positive, to embrace positive, or to embrace negative. We are bombarded with negativity in social media and everywhere. Bombarded. You watch the television, everything negative, right? So now what do? You have a choice to make. So the choice is that, okay, I wanted to focus on positive. Like, look, I did even business deal with when Donald Trump was not even president at that time. I did he even came to my home and all this. I did some real estate deal with him, with Mr. Trump. But when I did like few real estate deal with him, when he came to my home at that time, just before his presidency, when he came to my home, my full focus is that what can I learn from him with respect of commercial real estate? And he gave me some tips. I applied those tips and I made millions out of that. So when somebody tells me about Donald Trump or whatever, about negative or whatever, it doesn't mean anything to me, because my experience with him, positive. Why? Because my focus is positive. That is the key, right? So that is the way I kind of started my journey. Then it kind of inspired me to come to US. And when I came as a master's student, which I shared with you yesterday. And then, I supposed to receive a fellowship and I didn't, whatever the reason, the professor gave it to someone else before I showed up. And so I was pretty much don't have the money to register for my class. So I was shortage of $200. So I went to a bank for a $200 loan, and the bank manager said, do you have any collateral? I said, ma'am, I just landed in America 2 days ago. I don't have any money. What are you talking about? Collateral? I don't know anybody. He said, okay, how about this? Why don't you become my collateral? He said, what do you mean? I said, you're a manager. You can become my collateral. It's only $200. So she looked at me. She said, are you out of your mind? How can I don't know you. I just met you today. I said, if I'm your brother, you will give me you will do the collateral for $200. I said, you think about it. If you change your mind, you let me know. But if you decide not to do it, even tomorrow, by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you'll regret the rest of your life. Because one day I'll become so big, at that time you'll regret. I told her. So guess what happened? Next day morning, she called me at 6 a.m. in the morning. She said she could not sleep. She said, okay, you're my brother. I'm going to give you the loan. Now, she's the first person I invited when I graduated from my degree. I invited, and what happened is that after 2 weeks after that, I received a fellowship and from Dow Chemical, and Dow paid for my complete education. And that really changed, my education. Then I gave her back her $200 loan or whatever. And here I am, right? So, in life is all about what I've witnessed in life is everything I dealt with positive energy, positivity, and make an impact that way. Even now, same thing. I wanted to focus on the positive side.
That's amazing.
Then life is fulfilled,
Yeah, all right, all the hounds out there, CJ, I'm gonna be quiet. But y'all heard me talk about courage before confidence. Wasn't that just like the whole story right there? Like, I always joke too about my naivety. Like, hey, just ask the question. And sometimes, Subir, I get it just because I was the only one goofy enough to ask it. So I love it because you showed up. You wasn't Subir. You wasn't the guy in the Six Sigma Arthur. And,
Right.
You were just another person, right? And,
Yes.
and here's what I like about it. That energy you just dispelled, man, that you haven't lost that. That's what I find most impressive. You're the same guy. You just, now you can do more and be more. So CJ, I know you probably got 800 questions. Pick one.
Oh my gosh. No, I love that he said that positive, because remember what you are to level up is an ambassador for 50 inspirational connections, right? The reason I do that, what do I always say? That everything in our world right now, there's so much negativity. What I want to give back to the community is inspiration to stay positive. Because if you find everything that's negative, it's going to be a laundry list of negativity. But if you can find at least, I'm not asking 100, at least 1 or 2 positive things that's going on with your life and focus on that positive, your mood changes, your focus changes, right? And that's what I want to give back to the community is the inspiration of positivity. And I'm like really in awe while I'm listening to you because I've never met him. Like this is the first time that I've met him. And I always look for people who are aligning their actions with their business and also the way they speak and the way they act. And I was researching while you were talking actually, and I'm not only super impressed with your background. Like I was doing a check mark when we first, I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, 50 thinkers, that is amazing. That's like the Grammy Awards, right? For business entrepreneurs. It is so crazy. Like Hall of Fame, exactly. There's just so many of that. But at the end of the day, right, what I actually wanting to go over is your Leo, right? Guys, it's not the Cancer Leo, okay? So Leo framework. I'm really big on framework. I have a voice framework that I'm working on right now. But I love your Leo framework, and I wanted to kind of see that a little bit more. You said listen, enrich, and optimize, right? It sounds very simple, but yet it's so powerful. Can you walk us through how someone can practice Leo in a personal context, like building trust in their community, family, and everything in between?
Okay, so thank you so much for Dr. Leland for that question. So I introduced that concept of Leo in a book called The Ice Cream Maker for the first time. It was translated more than 20 languages. It sold millions of copies around the world in The Ice Cream Maker. And the whole book is all about how can I teach quality to a 5th grader to all the way to my 80-year-old mother and in between everybody, right? To learn about quality. So Leo, amazing part about that is that it came from a lot of research and everything else, but it's very simply 3 things. Number 1 is to listen to the customer. So when I talk about listening, a lot of the time we love to talk or whatever, but I think the listening is the most important. And listening is not like just, okay, you are talking, I'm just listening. No, it's about when I'm listening, I'm trying to internalize it. I'm very attentively listening, not like looking at my iPhone when you are talking. That is not listening, right? So it's literally listening to the customer. Now, when I talk about, now there is a 2 element of it. There is a 2 type of customer. One is called internal customer. One is external customer. Unfortunately, what I found majority of the organization, they only focus on the external customer. They don't talk about the internal customer. So who is the internal customer? Internal customers are the people, your colleagues, your spouse, your children, your loved ones, your employees. These are all internal customers. Now, everybody's focus is external customers because external customers pay the bill to make money from the real customers, external customers. Amazing part is, if you're not having a good time with internal customers, you cannot make ever happy the external customers. What I mean by that? So that means, think about this way, irrespective of what position, what organizations you're working with, if you're not having a good time with your children or with your spouse or with your loved ones, whoever it is, where do you get your positive vibe, positive energy from? If you're not having a good time, I guarantee you, you cannot satisfy 100% you may satisfy maybe 50% to your external customers, not 100%. So that is, in my viewpoint, that is the most important part of the listening part, like to make sure that you listen to the internal customer as well as external customers. I've seen in lots of organizations, like the employees are extremely unhappy, tremendously unhappy. When they're unhappy, like internal customers are unhappy, guess what? They're having a lot of recall in their external customers' product. They're having a lot of recalls. Why? Because internal customers are very unhappy. Employees are not happy. They're not giving 110%. So the listening part is the most important element. I call it that is listen. Now, can you apply that in real life? And I'm going to tell you the story that this one, it was literally shocked me when I got that. After the book came out, after 2 or 3 years later, I suddenly received a Federal Express package from a jail from Orlando. I've never done any consulting in a jail or whatever. I was shocked. It's a big package. So when I opened the box, there's a 3-ring binder. And in the 3-ring binder, what I find out, there's a cover letter. In the cover letter, they talked about how a AT&T general manager volunteered his time, very inspired with my talk, and never contacted me. He never contacted me. He literally read the book, applied the Leo principle to make the inmates' life better by applying listen, enrich, optimize. And then what happened, and he developed a 3-month curriculum. He never contacted me by reading the book, by listening to my talk, never contacted me. And then he applied to make the inmates' life better. And there is a juvenile jail. And in that, once they graduate from that 3-month program, one of the gift to them was they have to write a speech and give a speech in front of their family members. So the jail invited all the people in the family members, and then they gave their speech. And they copied those speech and sent it to me. Every inmate's speech, they copied and sent it to me in a Federal Express package. So I was so touched. Now, this is the part how they apply listening, just so that you know. So this is a speech. One of the boy, he wrote a speech. He's like 17 years old, juvenile crime he did. He wrote, "Little brother, listen to mama. If you listen to mama, you'll never end up in jail. I never listen to mama, I end up in jail." Now, if you ask me, Dr. Leland, that, hey, Subir, when you wrote this book, did you ever imagine this Leo principle is going to make an inmate's life better? Answer is no. In my wildest dream, I never thought that. Look at it, how positively that impacted. And look at it, how they applied the listen part. If you listen to the mama, then you'll never end up in jail, right? Another person wrote that the next point is called the enrichment. One thing I wanted to always believe in life, use this principle. It will make you more happier. What do? When you wake up every day in the morning, you think about, okay, this is a new day. I'm so grateful I'm still alive. Last night during the sleep, I didn't die. So whatever my accomplishment, whatever it is, I wanted to, maybe I was born today because I got a new life. God, thank you so much. I'm born. Doesn't matter what's your faith or what's your other, what you believe or whatever it is, even if you don't have a faith, doesn't matter. So think that way and then say, what can I do today to enrich another human? What can I do today to enrich another human? That's it. Now, doesn't matter. Even if it's a small gesture, even a small thank you. Like I was telling Mike in a simple example, I was meeting with the CEO of a 120,000 employee-based company CEO. And I asked him a very simple question, saying that, okay, sir, you are running a 120,000 employee-based Fortune 50 company. Fortune 50 company. Now, can you tell me, you are the number one person of the company because you're the CEO. From the number two to the janitor, everybody in between, anybody, when is the last time you put your hand on their shoulder, any employee's shoulder, and say deep down, thank you. Thank you for making a contribution for my company. Because of you, today, my company is running well. Our company is growing. And, I'm the CEO. And thank you as an employee. He looked at me like as if I put a bomb on his face. He looked at me and said, Subir, that is not my job. What do you mean? I said, excuse me? What do you mean by it's not your job? I said, do you think that you are a big shot or what? What do you think? If I take out, rest all the employees out of the picture and they all quit, do you think that you'll be successful? You'll be nobody. I said, look, I'm going to share a very simple story with you. I told him, I said, very simple story with you. He said, okay. I said, my grandfather used to tell me, Subir, there is a number 0 and number 9. What is more powerful number? Number 0 or 9? I said, Grandpa, most powerful will be 9. He said, no, most powerful is 0. I said, why? He said, because the 0 on its own doesn't have any value. So it's 0 value. But if you put a number in front of it, then 0 became more valuable. So he said, always think about you are 0. As a human, you always think about you are 0. You are nobody. Because the other human uplifted you. Other human make you a hero. That's why you become 10. From 0 to 10 or 0 to 20. Because other people are uplifting you. So always remember, whatever you accomplish in life, you are still a 0. So that is the foundational principle. So I ultimately transformed this executive, and his first job was, and he initially was so hesitant, fought with me. I refused to listen to him. Ultimately, what happened? Only his job was for the next 6 months to meet one employee every day, and say thank you, genuine thank you. I said, just saying that, hey, thank you very much. I know you are working in this department. And guess what happened to that company? Completely culture change. As soon as he started doing that, rest of all the leaders under him are also doing the same behavior. So that is, I call it as an enrichment, right? So can you apply that in your community? Can you apply it in your home? Absolutely, right? That is the enrichment part, which is listen, enrich. And the last part, optimize. Go ahead, Mike. You have
I'm about to lose it. It's just amazing. Even April said, I'm telling you, I told y'all, we might be here till midnight, and who cares? No, I can talk to you forever. I just want a campfire, some marshmallows. That the only thing set it off for me. So oh gosh, CJ, I know you got to follow up. I got to ask this. Thank you so much. So we had talked yesterday. You had mentioned this, and I want to get you set off again because folks are loving it. And this is where you are known for Six Sigma. You're known for process and formula. But you had made one of the most powerful statements I probably ever heard. You said, if company A, you would get a 10x result. But the same things you taught and implement, right? Company B could get 100, right? X result. So you said, what's the difference between the same thing, right? One gets 10, the other gets 100. And then we kind of got the back chatter. You had, and I don't think people know this yet, or many people aren't aware of, it was those one-on-one behind the scenes, you the CEO talks. Sometimes back in the day, right? They didn't like it. You were asked to leave, to put it nicely sometimes. Right? Yes. And only to be recalled, oops, he was right kind of thing. So this is what I mean, because right now you're coming back for chapter 2. You could just go right back into where you left off and everybody knows you, but you're trying to do things differently. You want to go into the people culture side. You want to help that side. So without spilling the beans, explain that to us. When did you get that revelation? And what are some of the things that you had conversations in the background, which blew my head off, right? Like, because I had those conversations. I didn't know I was allowed to. I didn't know you come along and did it just because it needed to be done. So
Okay, so let me explain this to you. This is a phenomenal question, because what Dr. Leland asked and Mike you asked is the combination of the two. So for an example,
Right.
when I talk about quality is the combination of people power and the process power. What Dr. Leland first question asked is that about the Leo, right? Listen, enrich, optimize. That is a process. So basically I use that process to solve the problem. And when I solve all those complex processes and make it better, then what happened is that it saved them billions of dollars, right? Depending on the size of the company. So some companies I saved them $10 billion. A small company I might have been saved $50 million, like that, right? That is what I do. Then what happened? So think about this way. Suppose company A is GM and another company is Ford. I'm just making this up. Two similar company, similar size, similar industry. Suppose both of them hired me as a consultant and both of them use Leo principle. Both of them use Leo principle. Suppose both of them use the same Leo process and hired me as a consultant. After working for both of them for 2 years, I'm seeing one company got 10x return. So if they spend, both of companies spend $10 million with me, suppose if I get give one company 100 million, another company got $1 billion result. Then I thought initially maybe my process is flawed. Maybe there's a problem with the process. So I did a lot of study with the organization, with all my clients, more than 5 years, to find out what is the issue. It's nothing to do with process. It's about the people. So that is the part your question comes to, which I call it as a people power. So in the people power side, so on Dr. Leland's area, on the Leo, I wrote the book, The Ice Cream Maker, which talked about the process. With you, Mike, what you are talking about, the people power, which I'm going to explain next, is called the people power, which is I wrote in my book, The Difference. So what I found out, the majority of the people who are getting the 100 times return, they have something called caring mindset culture. That means majority of the employees have the caring mindset culture. So what is the caring mindset? The caring mindset, then I studied that caring mindset. Then what I found out, any human at any position can practice this. It's called a STAR. It stands for straightforward, thoughtful, accountable, and resolve. Straightforward. So what is a straightforward? I don't need to explain any of those 4 words. You guys already got it. 90% you got it. So straightforward means being honest, being authentic, being yourself. Right now in social media era, we have a competition to how to portray, I'm more smarter than you, I'm more cool than you. Those are all fakeness. See, if I don't know something, I come in and say, hey, I don't know. What the heck? Doesn't matter. Like I was telling Mike yesterday that if you ask me who is like Mike said, oh, you're the world's #1 quality guru. I said, Mike, I'm still learning quality. He said, what do you mean? I said, what the heck? My hero is Mother Teresa. I said, what Mother Teresa did for humanity, I cannot do that. That is the ultimatum of quality, right? Quality, improving the life of quality, another human being. I said, I cannot do that. I said, I have to learn a lot to become like her, right? That is the learning part, right? So that is being a straightforward is much more being honest to yourself, being honest to others. That is straightforward. Then because in corporation, what I find, there's so much of lie, so much of hiding information. So because of fear, because of other culture. That's what I find from a small company to all the way large company. As soon as you take the fear out, as soon as you become you don't punish for telling the truth. Truth doesn't have to be offending. Truth has to be truth, real truth based on the data. Don't give your opinion, give based on data. If you tell them, okay, this is the thing I've seen, this is the data, then data, nobody can refuse the data. That's the thing. See, rest of it is opinion. Never given person. If I just say, oh, okay, Mike, you did this wrong, right? You will say, okay, Subir, how you know that? Okay, Mike, step number 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, I showed it to you with the data. You'll say, yeah, you're right, I did wrong. Suppose if I just tell you, oh, that is my feeling, I think you always screw up. That's the way everybody tell me about this. Then you will say, I disagree with you, because that is not the case, because it's all about data. You cannot argue with the data. You always have to have the data, right? So being straightforward based on that data, being honest. Next thing is thoughtful. Remember Dr. Leland, before we started this, she just mentioned something about the kindness. She was talking about, hey, if somebody's kind with me, that's great. Rather than that, rest of it I don't have any time for. That is the foundation of that thoughtfulness. What I mean by that, remember that CEO I telling you about? Hey, your job would be next 6 months, every day when you come to the office, you find a guy or girl, doesn't matter, one of your employee, and put your hand and don't fake it. Be honest to yourself and tell, thank you for serving my company. Because of you, I'm running as a CEO. And because of that, your hard work, our company is growing. That's it. Nothing else. Simple thank you. Right?
Bingo.
And thoughtfulness. Being thoughtful. Like, what the heck, like if Dr. Leland, I ask you, Dr. Marshall Goldsmith and other people, you come to LA and you say, Subir, if you're in town, I wanted to meet with you in LA. I just drove from San Diego. I wanted to meet with you. And I met with you. And then you said, okay, you talked with me. I said, oh, okay, Dr. Leland, do you know this person? Yeah, let me see. If you're interested, I can introduce you. What the heck? What am I going to lose? Nothing. Right? Life is all about uplifting other people. That's it. Life is all about uplifting other people. When we die, we'll not take anything with us. All my awards and everything you talked about is all gone. Is all collecting dust, right? None of that. And why I received all the award? Because other people contributed in my life. Other people felt Subir did a good job, so let me reward them. Now they are kind to me. Can I ever forget to them? No. So everything, all the success, all my bio you two read about, everything is done by my customer. Everything is done by my support from my parents, support from my family, everybody. So if I don't appreciate that every single day and think about, oh, how many followers I have, how many fake followers I have, what the heck? See, that's what I think we have to change our mindset on, right? To think about, okay, life is not about competition, about how many followers I have, right? Let me tell you, I may not have as many million followers or whatever, but let me tell you, any person I touch with, I'm still very lucky. They got inspired. They send me letters. They send me email. They hug me. They want to engage me. They want more of my time. Do you know what? That is priceless to me. That enriched my life, right? So that is the thoughtfulness. So be thoughtful to others. That is the second. So straightforward, thoughtful. Then the A is for accountable. A lot of the time, what happened was, anytime you talk about, because that is a human behavior. If you just tell, hey, Subir, you are responsible for this. You know what I'll do? I said, no. It is Dr. Leland or you, not me. I did everything good. That is the life we lead in, as if I'm perfect. Everything. So accountability is all about, no, anything happen, it starts with me. So I'm the father of the home. If anything happened at the home, if I'm the father of the home, I have a responsibility. So first thing I say, you know what? This problem happened, you two fight. Maybe I did not raise you, my two children. I said, maybe I didn't raise you properly. Maybe I didn't teach you properly. So problem has started with me. No, you didn't do anything. I did something. So as soon as you practice that part, as soon as you started practicing that, like saying that accountability has started with me, in anywhere you go, you will watch what happened to the human behavior. It is like a magic. Everybody will say, no, I had a situation in one organization, like hundreds of organizations, but in one particular organization, first time when I tested this idea, one of the Fortune 100 company CEO, I just told him, I said, look, anytime when there's a big recall happen, what do you do? He said, if it is a manufacturing related, I call my vice president of manufacturing and I hammer the guy out. I said, okay, suppose if it's an engineering issue. He said, then I call the engineering vice president and hammer. He said, why? What I'm doing wrong? I said, you are doing everything wrong. Because who is the CEO? He said, I am. I said, did you ever try this concept? You just call your entire leadership team together. And over there, you just tell them, hey, this is a new recall happened. Guess what? I'm running the company and I'm a complete failure. I'm the reason this recall happened. And you guys are my leaders. And thank you very much. Give me a high five so that you guys all contributed to me, made me such a good leader so that my product failed, so that ultimately this recall happened. So let's do a high five. And I take 100% of the responsibility. I said, do that. He said, they will think I'm an idiot. I said, do that. Even if they think the idiot, I'm going to watch, do that. He did that. Do you know what happened? As soon as he said he take the 100% accountability, immediately another executive raised his hand. He said, sir, no, sir, that is not your problem. I'm the one who is screwed up. This is manufacturing issue. This is my problem. He said, do you know what? These are the things we need to do. Then the whole discussion changed. All of them collectively saying that, sir, we apologize to you. We put you in this position. You being a CEO, don't worry about it. It will never happen again. We are going to fix it. Completely changed. So you do, anytime any problem happen, if you're part of that project, you just say, I'm the accountability. It starts with me, right? So, and you will completely change. I'm telling you, because we are living in a culture. We are perfect. Everything we do, great. Rest of them, all the problem happen to them. Because of that, that is the reason I'm failing. No. I always tell my people are always right. I'm the one. My leadership skill is a flaw. That is the reason we are failing. As soon as I tell my people that, they scratch their head, they give 110%. You uplift me. That is, see, you are doing completely opposite, right? That is the beauty about this methodology, right? The fourth point is the resolve. Steve Jobs said something very profound. He said, this is one life. Steve Jobs, I absolutely love the guy. Steve Jobs said something very profound. He said, this is one life. Never do anything in your life, this life, in your own life, if it doesn't excite you. If it does not, you don't have the resolve. Don't do any project. Don't do to please anybody else. Please yourself. See, I always talk about, Mike, yesterday I talked about the self-respect. The most important element, the best gift you can give it to your own self is the self-respect. And I don't think 99.9% of the people don't understand what it means. What it means is that love your own self. Try to respect your own self. So when you respect your own self, every single action you take, what will happen? You question yourself. Is it my best? Is it my best? Is it the thing I can be proud of? If you think that way, then whatever the BS you will not be proud of. I even told a lot of the parents, I said, anytime you do an action, you take an action, what you should do, you just ask a very simple question. Do you think that if I take this action, my children will be proud of me? I said, if you ask that question, immediately you will stop. You will immediately say, no, I may not. My son, if he hear about this, he may not be proud of this. Okay, I had 2 beers, I'm going to drive. Then come back home. Tell your 16-year-old, hey, never drink and drive. Oh, okay, I'm not going to, don't use texting during the driving. But when I drive beside the son, I'm texting. These are very simple. So that is the part where you have to think of. Always think about, don't do anything in life if you don't have the resolve. So that is another. So I try to explain it in a very simplistic manner. So a lot of the time is about this. The amazing part about this is being straightforward, being thoughtful, being accountable, and having resolve. These 4 elements, if you tell me, Subir, 10 is the highest score and 0 is the lowest score. How you rank yourself on each of these elements? Do you think that I'll get all of them 10 out of 10? No. I'm a human. I have a lot of flaws. Some days I may score 1 or 2 in one of them. All of us, if we take the score, one day it will be this score, next day it will be that. When I'm getting upset on something, that means on that case, in my thoughtful score would be 0. Right? So think about it. This is the kind of it's not like a perfection. I'm not talking about having every time perfect. I have a lot of flaws. So don't think about that. Okay, Subir created this star and teaching us this star. Oh my God, Subir is a perfect guy. No, not at all. I have lots of flaws, right? But within that flaws, but the mindset, if you tell me about the mindset, do I have the right intent? Yes, the intent, I have the right. That is the part you have to focus on. So
holy cow.
Hopefully your team got the balance.
Y'all see why I like this guy so much. Dadgummit. CJ, you have to go. So
yeah, but I have one question before I go, because I have to go teach right now. I do lectures right now, but legacy is a word that comes up a lot in your work and mine, and literally Mike as well. Now, if you had to sum it up, like one principle right? Do you hope people will carry forward from their lives, let's say 50 years from now? What would that be?
Very simple. Very simple means um, everyday life is all about learning every single day. So every day when I wake up, when I brush my teeth, I think that I'm the dumbest guy. I'm looking at my own face and I was thinking about the person I'm looking at is the dumbest guy, doesn't know anything, and what can I learn today? What can I learn today? If you practice that part. So I wanted to have anybody who listen or whatever they do or read my books or whatever, only thing I request to them, every day when you think, you always think about you don't learn enough and try to learn something new. So life is all about. So if you ask me, I'm the whole world is telling me I'm the world's top quality guru. I'm just telling you I'm still trying to learn quality, right? Because there's so many things, so many other people are doing. There's so many areas that even my child may be able to do on social media or whatever I cannot do. What can I learn from them, right? So it's all about that. So I think if you can teach yourself irrespective of what kind of organization you're working with, teach yourself that every day I wanted to learn something new. I don't have enough answer and I wanted to learn. That is the kind of life I wanted my readers or my people who love my work or whatever to have, that leading that life. So it doesn't matter. They can learn something else. It doesn't have to be Subir Chowdhury's learning. It can be something else. It doesn't matter. So I think that is the key to life, and to have a more fulfillment. If you think about, I always talk about the executives' number one disease. They pretend they know everything. They pretend. Don't pretend. This is one life. Just don't pretend. Okay, as I say, if my audience think that, okay, some of the things I'm saying is garbage and they don't like me, fine. Tell me that feedback. No problem. And that's okay. That is the way it is. So there's no fakeness, nothing. Tell us straight. So that would be my advice, to have the learning.
Thank you. And it was nice meeting you. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye. You're amazing. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Well, folks, the passion oozes off of him. Again, we always talk about it. If I can do it, you can do it. And then Subir comes along and proves me absolutely right. Thank you, Subir, because you are all passion, you're all heart, you're all grit, and you're self-made, and you were honest doing it. And gosh, look who we're talking to, right? Like this. Yeah. So let me piggyback off of that, because I want to close strong with you. If piggybacking off of that legacy leadership, I love what you said, because a lot of folks in the Hounds, myself, we can't teach what we don't know, right? And I was well aware of that with two younger kids in my house. So that really put me on a self-improvement journey, which, as you just affirmed, helped build the business, right? If you're harmonious, if you're loving people and you're authentic, other people will gravitate the right people. So on this note, I got to know, many high-level leaders feel pressure to chase growth at all costs, right? They have to answer to the board of directors, the clients, and if you don't do it well, it's kind of hard to get a CEO gig, in certain circumstances. So what's your perspective on building sustainable advantage that outlast short-term wins that are often pressured?
So I think, remember yesterday you were asking about the clarity.
Right.
So if the organization if the CEO have the right vision, believe in that vision, 100%, 200%, and build all the strategy based on that vision. So then there is no doubt in my mind. And if they have the right mindset, right people, but to achieve that vision. So think about this way. If you really think about when Elon Musk thinking about going to a space and with his own company or whatever, he went to Neil Armstrong and everybody, right? All those 3 astronauts who landed in the moon first time. And guess what? Because they are his heroes. He went there. He talked with them about it. They laughed at him. They literally laughed at him. Saying, are you out of your mind? How can you? That is NASA. You have to be the government. You cannot do it on your own. Privatization, you cannot do that. And now look at it. Now NASA is dependent on SpaceX, right? For his company, right? Think about it. That is the vision, right? When Steve Jobs think about the iPhone to kind of hook entire humanity into this, that is the vision, right? So, and to give you the perspective, I, in fact, had an amazing opportunity. I remember, like, when I was talking to Caterpillar chairman almost in 1998 when I was talking to the Caterpillar chairman, and he passed away. Became a very good friend of mine. He was one of my clients, and I was talking to Glenn Barton, and I asked him, I said, Glenn, tell me what's your number one pain? Tell me your pain. He said, oh, Subir, it's nothing to do with quality. So it took me almost 10 minutes to kind of explain, try to get him. He said, do you want to really understand my pain? I said, yeah. He said, when a company hit the $20 billion mark, they normally are stuck on that for years after years. He said, I can become 19 billion or I can become 21 billion, but I cannot break through to 30 billion or whatever. He said, do you want to hear my dream? My dream is that 10 years from now, I wanted to become my company. I wanted to become $30 billion company. So I said, okay. So that means you have right now 20 billion and 10 years from now, you wanted to be 30 billion. So that means you have a $10 billion defect. I told him, I said, $10 billion defect. So let us build our strategy, Caterpillar strategy. How can we grow that within 10 years by doing Six Sigma or other process or whatever to make sure within 10 years you can achieve the $30 billion mark? Guess what happened? 10 years later, Caterpillar is a 42 billion. So why I shared that story, and you can do the, instead of a billion, if you make it as a million, it as a thousands, you can still achieve it. Why? Because that is the way you build your strategy. So to answer your question, that when the leader set the vision and make sure you put the people, a strategy, everything behind it to achieve that vision, you can achieve. And on the process, you never give up. Never give up until you achieve it. If you have that type of mindset, yes, you can do it. That is, and every single time. I have another automotive Korean client. His vision was to win the North American Car of the Year. At that time, his quality is one of the worst. And in 10 years, he achieved North American Car of the Year.
Wow.
So, so the question is that is all about that mindset, that having that mindset to, what you wanted to achieve.
Now, on that note, we're going to wrap up with the last two questions, probably the most powerful questions, dear to my heart. So more so about overcoming obstacles, and that practical wisdom you just sprayed the whole time here. Like, I love it. This is down to earth, grassroots, right? Yeah, I'm going to have to read your books. I'm already I'm not a big reader, but hey, you've already got me. All right. So here it is. Looking back on your journey, right? Because you're starting round two. So looking back from struggling as a young immigrant, to advising Fortune 100 CEOs, what inspired you, or what obstacles shaped you the most? And what did they teach you about resilience? What's that takeaway?
So I think if I look back, one of the things what really helped me a lot is that I always felt anything I dream, I always felt that I can achieve it, right? So, and then what happened is, and my grandfather also told me about that too, that, then what happened, I come up with some big dreams. So for an example, when I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old, my grandfather asked me, and I was in Chittagong, Bangladesh, very poorest of the poor country. We are kind of a lower middle class, very so my father's income maybe in dollar cents, maybe $200 a month of at that time, right? I'm talking about 1974, 75, that time frame.
Wow.
So, so at that time, my grandfather is asking, Subir, what's your dream? I said, Grandpa, if I tell you my dream, you'll laugh at me. He said, no, I still want to hear. That's fine. I said, should I tell you honestly? You'll not say to anybody else? He said, no, it's private between you and me. I said, my dream is to have a dinner with American president. I was 9 years old, living in Bangladesh, telling him my dream is to have a dinner with American president. He said, oh, that is a very easy dream. Yeah, you can do it. He said, but the only thing you have to do, you can only dine with the people, the president who are alive. People who passed away, you cannot dine with them. So, okay, one day will come, you will dine with the American president. So to achieve that, you need to do some very masterful good work. If you do good work, one day maybe you will go to America. Now I'm 9 years old, living in Bangladesh, right? Not even nobody can even comprehend of that dream, right? But here I am, Now, guess what happened? 25 years or 30 years later, or 40 years later, so far I met with 3 American presidents and dined with 3 American presidents so far. And all of them I told about this story, right? So to answer your question is that I always come up with some big, big dream. Every one of my book, I can tell you a story after a story, how every book came out, the ideas. So what really drove me is that I came up with a dream, what I'm really passionate about and what I really wanted to achieve. And that dream drove me. And I give 200%. I never took no for an answer. Even if everybody told me it is not going to happen, I didn't take no for an answer and ultimately made it happen. And so far, nothing. In fact, in American Department of Homeland Security, when they gave me one of their highest honor called the Outstanding American by Choice Award, over there, I gave a speech. On the speech, I talked about anything I dreamed in American land, I achieved. America fulfilled for me. They take that quote now for last 25 years, anytime, whenever any new American citizen take the citizenship oath, they show 5 immigrants quote, and they show that quote. That I got kind of lucky. They selected that quote. Anything I dream in America, America fulfilled.
Wow. Dadgummit. Listen, people hear this a lot. Well, that's him. He had something I didn't, right? Or whatever. Fill in the blank. And people, we think that they're better at talking or X, Y, and Z. And you're here to say, no, you earned it. You thought you
every human being, every single human being has the power. They only use their talent. Every one of them, every single human being has an enormous amount, right? And they only use maybe 1% or 2% of their talent in their lifetime, right? I got lucky. Maybe I used maybe 10% of my talent, just right. So that you know, right? But the problem is that it is the self-belief, self-respect. So if every one of the other human being think, hey, look, I was nobody. See, I always tell American, even my children, I tell them, I said, what the heck? You guys are so lucky. You were born in America. I was born in one of the poorest of the poor country, right? And I was a minority student there. I was a minority there. I faced so much of discrimination even in my own country, being a different minority. And that's okay. Because again, there's a very big principle. All 5 fingers are not the same. So one person did something bad to you doesn't mean the other 4 people are bad.
Wow.
Right? So you treat everybody equally. So it is your choice. So everything I talked about today, if you think about the positive, everything is positive thinking. Continuously having the learning attitude and have the hard work and believe in yourself, self-respect, and believe in. A lot of the people I find, even the younger people, I don't think they believe their own country. They don't even believe them. America doesn't. I'm even more optimistic about my own country. Why? Seriously, there is so much of a strength in this country, unbelievable, right? And I appreciate it every single day because anything I dream, I achieved in this country, right? Having real estate deal with Donald Trump to all the way to the management consulting from art collect, whatever. Right? See, it's nothing to do with like, okay, my God, Subir is a superhuman being. No, not at all. No. I'm just like another Joe. That's it. Right? Like I remember that at the beginning of my career, when my first book just didn't even come out. My first book didn't come out. So I was insulted by some group of executives because they asked me if I have a Harvard MBA. How dare I'm trying to give them advice. I was a young guy, right? So I just looked at them. I said, okay, do you know what is the difference between a Harvard MBA versus myself? And I was nobody at that time. I said, the difference is Harvard MBAs maybe one day will graduate with their MBA degree by reading by Subir Chowdhury's book. So my book will be coming out soon. Maybe it will be taught in Harvard. And you guys will watch so that your guys can graduate from there. So that is the reason I didn't go to the Harvard. And I didn't have the brain like you to go to the Harvard, right? So that doesn't mean not about the degree itself. It is about what you do with the degree. Now I came over here, but your ego is hurting because, Subir is not a Harvard MBA and all of us are Harvard MBA. So how dare he's coming in trying to teach me about this? That is your ego, nothing else. So I'm trying to tell you now. If you write it down. You might throw me out, but you write it down. I will not stop until my book will be taught in Harvard. And guess what happened?
What's that?
Within 2 years later of that incident, Harvard already accepted my book and taught some of the case study in Harvard. So I then went back to.
So the School of Hard Knocks, that's a good school too, as well. Because
any school, man, is not about the school and the degree. It's all about look at Steve Jobs. Look at Steve Jobs, right? He's not. Look at his degree. Does he have a big academic degree? No. It's not about that academic degree. What do you do with the degree? It should not look. Okay, these are all man-made. All this. Okay, they are better ranking and this and that. I'm not saying that Harvard is another community college. I'm not suggesting that. Harvard is Harvard, no doubt. But the problem is that Harvard never teach you to become arrogant. Harvard never teach you to become like to show off. None of them. Use the principle what the professor taught you, right? That can be taught in, I gave the example, all my discussion, I didn't give you any Fortune 500 CEOs example. I gave you the elementary school teacher grandfather example. Right. So I tell majority of the people, younger generation, go out and meet with your grandparents and parents, learn from them. Right now, our children are spending too much time on this device and social media and all this. They don't spend too much time on the grandparents and parents. They are the best advice. They give the best advice.
Soft skill. You're speaking my language. Soft skill is no longer optional. Like trust plus skill. There's tons of people who got skill and degrees, and I'm not minimizing it like you're not. But what is the difference? I mean, I've done hard things in my past, Subir, and I gave up. But you didn't. No. Other people didn't. And they just kept banging their head against the wall. People kept saying, you're nuts. It'll never work. You're crazy. What are you doing? Come play. Come party. No, you're sitting up at 2 a.m. trying to learn, trying to figure.
Yep.
So, folks, I want you to understand it ain't just me. You're listening to the man himself. And this is what our calling card is. Get serious. Yes, you're going to have to lose some friends maybe. You're going to have to put some stuff on pause. You're going to have to not watch Netflix all weekend. If it means enough to you, go out there and figure out a way around it, through it, over it. Like Bruce Lee said, be water, right, Subir? Be water. Yes. If I can't go through, look, you seen Dr. CJ. Yep. Look, she fills about 800 holes in my boat. Like every weakness I have, I got a community. Like Colleen Stubbs here, right? Like she comes in, she brick and mortar. And then she recently, last year or so, got into the online arena. Like you, pivoting from, hey, Six Sigma process, now I'm going to go to culture because I know both. Yep. And we complement each other so well. So don't do it alone, but take responsibility. And when you're alone, don't watch TV. Don't.
Mike, that is exactly the one. That is the main reason. See, what happened was because I was doing so many high-flying, big consulting gigs and all this stuff, I've done it. But the thing is that some of my friends and colleagues and a lot of the customers, even big company customers too, all of them are saying that, Subir, look, you should introduce this 1 hour conversation with you, change my life. How can you take that 1 hour? So when I talked to Jesse, that our common friend Jesse, when I told him, he said, Subir, look, I want you to take this 1 hour, just 1 hour of your time to anybody. So it is affordable to them, right? That's what is like on in your screen is showing starleadercollective.com/excellence. If you go there, starleadercollective.com/excellence, you can book 1 hour of my time, right? That's what basically I was trying to do. They can still afford 1 hour to, okay, within 1 hour, what can I do? So a lot of the time, that 1 hour changed their life. Like, I don't know if I told you the story yesterday or not. One of the clients signed a $20 million deal with me. And on the first time when I met with the client, I asked the client the question that, how many children they have, right? So end of the story. Remember the story that?
Love that one.
Ultimately, he has 2 daughters and all this stuff. So when I asked him, when is the last time they spoke with them? He said he doesn't remember. He's so busy. He's working 18 hours a day. So my first task to him was, hey, you have to talk 25 minutes with the daughter number 1, 25 minutes with daughter number 2. I canceled the meeting, gave him the 50 minutes of my time with him. And I left. And I said, until you do that, I'm not coming again. And rest is history. He then took a time off, went with the vacation, met with both the daughters. And then when he came back, he's a different man. He self-realized that he did not satisfy his internal customers, which is his daughters. I'm talking about the internal customer, external customer. He said, okay, that is the reason the company is screwed up. He created a toxic culture. Now he's going to change the entire organization's culture. And he made it sure nobody come to the office at 6 a.m. Nobody can stay in the company after 6 p.m. Completely changed the culture. And within few years, the company is doing phenomenally well because of that culture change, right? So, so that is the part. That is what you have to think about,
That, all right. Oh, I think we could do a fireside chat. We got to bring you, if you're willing to come back. I know they're dying to have you back. We don't want to end this, all right? But all good things, right? So let me ask you this, because I can't believe it. First of all, real quick, I got to be funny every now and then. I remember, I think it was my grandpa, right? Said, never buy a car that was manufactured on a Monday or a Friday. You already know why, right? And I said, why? All right, so I'm going to get it verified. You don't have to answer, but he said, because he was he did a lot of that stuff. So he worked similar. He said, well, on Friday, we're ready to get out of there and we're trying to get out quick. And on Monday, a lot of us are hungover. So we're not paying attention. And I said, that just makes logical sense, So when you talk about happy customers and happy employees and internal workers, you ain't kidding, because you don't want bolts to not, be on the car and things. This is serious business. Yes. So because then you pay for it later in liability. And so what you're saying is, hey, get the people right, get the culture right, get all these things right, implement them, and then the processes, you'll see amplification of my processes. That's the icing on the cake. So let me ask you this. This is for you, Hounds, friends of the Hounds. I'm asking this for you. So for Hounds, entrepreneurs, executives, if they take one action step this week to lead with more clarity, culture, and confidence, Subir, what should it be? One baby step they can take out right now.
The first thing they have to ask themselves, I will tell them to go for a walk and having the self-reflection in whatever the place they like a quiet place. Just go for a walk, answer the questions to your own self, and ask the question that, okay, what is the one or two things? And being humble, what are the one or two things I can improve upon? I can improve upon, not anybody else. I can improve upon. Having that type of mindset. And then realizing that I'm not perfect, I have a lot of issues. Can I really get help on something? See, problem is that there is, as I say, even including myself, there's not a perfect human being. There's everybody, even myself need a coach, right? Even myself need a coach. I used to go to my mentors, right? To come in, try to learn, and they will try to talk with me and try to. So I think it's very important to have something like most of the people who are running the company, running a small entrepreneurship or whatever, they have a lot of flaws. They have to self-reflect. And that is one of the reasons I launched this StarLeaderCollective.com that on the excellent, because that is the part where if somebody comes in and say, oh, Subir, I just signed up by listening to it or whatever, can you teach me something? No, then I'm not interested. What their mindset should be, hey, Subir, these are the 2 or 3 things I'm struggling with. Can you give me any concrete advice? If I can do it, great. If I can't, maybe I'm not the right person, right? Maybe you find somebody else. If somebody tell me, okay, can you solve this particular problem in this area? If I don't have the expertise, I'll say, hey, look, don't waste your money and your time, because that's not my expertise, right? Because I don't have all the answers. So I think the most important part is about self-reflecting, asking the question yourself, and having that saying that I don't know enough. I'm not an expert enough. So what are the 1 or 2 things I can do for my business or for my life or for my family? What can I do to improve myself? Once you ask that question, continuously asking. See, as I told you, I have a lot of flaws. So when I have the flaws, I continuously self-analyze and saying that, okay, what can I do better? Okay, how can I do better? That's it. Nothing else. Right?
I got a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
You said take a walk. You with no phone, no earbuds.
Nothing.
You mean, wait a minute, you just mean just me and my thoughts? That sounds scary. I try to get away from my thoughts. I like to be distracted, but you're saying that the antidote, the first step to a journey a well-lived journey, the goals and dreams, the passion, the dreams you push down. Be alone, face it, talk, think.
Yes. Just your own self. Exactly. Because that is the place you will find the self-respect. More you spend, the more time on your own self, right? We have something inside of me, right? That inside, and developing respect for that. Like, as I told you, as soon as I tell myself, I didn't learn enough. How can I learn more? So, I developed lots of passion in art, right? In art. So I started reading on it, right? Then I started contacting a lot of artists. Now I became friends with a lot of the European artists and American artists in a very short period of time. How? Right? How? I'm not an artist, but I started reading. I started learning. I'm getting brain food, right? Because that gives me happiness, right? So try to think about that part. It's all about you. It's not about them. I told you, right now the society became, we are like excited when we have more followers. That is other people are controlling your life. No, don't give a damn about what other people are doing. It's all about your own self. That's it. The more you have the self-respect, more you have your own, doesn't matter who said what. I'm telling you right now, like if some people come in and say, oh, okay, we don't like Subir Chowdhury, blah, blah, okay, so be it. What can I do? Okay. And if I people who don't like it, no problem. You give me a hug. No problem, my friend. You give me some advice. Okay, I'm going to listen to you. I will take your input very seriously. Thank you very much. No problem. Life is good. Simple. But it's very hard to practice. That's why I say, don't take your iPhone. Don't take your earbud. None of that. Just be yourself, whatever you like. Or maybe if you don't walk, you go to a beach or somewhere or something you like. You just sit there on your own and self-reflect and ask yourself, what is the area, one or two areas, challenges you are facing that the most important to you, and how you can improve. And that's it. Then you focus on that. And you do it next week, following week, maybe another problem will come up. But spend some self-time. Very important. Unfortunately, after the iPhone social media era, we don't do that anymore.
No. And this is so inspiring to me. I know lots of hounds are losing it right now because they're inspired. I think, who was it earlier? Let's put it, Vincent. Yeah, there's enough gold to start another gold rush. Yes, sir. It's unbelievable. Yeah, this is inspiring because I have done
kind. That is very kind, Vincent.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing to me that everything you're saying, I'm not insane. This is the growth process to hitting those visions, to hitting that legacy, right? That's what I want, not just for me. Yeah, yes. For me, because now hey, there's nothing wrong with doing things for yourself. It took me 44 years to figure that out. But when I'm full and I have excess, now I can go out there and make a difference. Now I can go out there, help homeless people, whatever it is, help more hounds, help people that don't have the hand up to build the business. This is the most inspiring.
Anybody at any profession, at any position can make a difference. So think about this way. When you're going out, if you just say thank you to somebody, what it cost you? Nothing. What it cost you? Nothing. So when somebody is, when I'm going to a grocery store and somebody packing all this stuff for me and things, I still say, I give a big smile and say, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kindness, for packing so nicely for me. Very much. Oh, she just looked at me and said, oh, welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Right? Very happy and give me a bigger smile. What is wrong? Nothing. It doesn't cost anything. Very simple. So I think, Lide, everything I talked about today, none of them is very, very hard. All of you are 1,000 times more smarter than me. 1,000 times. All of you. Every single listener in this is 1,000 times more smarter than me. And they can change the world in their own capacity. Every one of them. Trust me. Only thing is that having that mindset and having that, making that as a priority. That's all, right? If you ask me the question when I wrote any of my book, right? Before writing the book, did I have the goal to make it as a million seller? Absolutely. I had the target. I wanted my book to be translated to 25 languages, and I achieved that. I didn't rest. I achieved that, right? Because that is the goal I have. So as I told you, like as Steve Jobs said, don't do in this life anything. Don't even start. if you don't think that you can give 110% and you're happy with it. So if you're going to quit, then don't start in them. So why you're wasting your time? So even if you fail, okay, I failed, I get up, I do it again, right? But there is still some limitation. If I never dreamed, okay, one day I'll have a marathon running. That is not my dream. That is not my dream. So because I know that is not the thing I may not able to accomplish because of my physical ability, right?
Right.
Okay, so I never made that. So you think about what is your strength, what are the areas it gives you tremendous pleasure. Because at the end of the day, you have to be happy. I think everything I talked about today is all about ultimate happiness. What I've seen, Mike, this is very important. What I've seen, Mike, is that we are in an era of authenticity is missing in life. Authenticity. There is so much of fakeness going on. Authenticity. I rather wanted people to lead an authentic life. I rather wanted people to live a very happy life. We are tremendously busy. We are financially successful, but we are not happy.
Oh.
I've seen so many executives, they have millions of dollars, but they're so screwed up. They're so unhappy, so sad. They are driving a $500,000 Rolls Royce, but they are very unhappy. Do you want to lead that life? No. I rather drive a Chevy and be happy, right? See, because that is the gift of life.
I'd rather drive a Rolls Royce and be happy, man. You can do that. You proved it, right?
Yes, I can do that. But the point I was trying to make to you is that it's not about that. It's about, yes, as you said, yes, I had a dream. In fact, this is so funny. I told, when I was leaving GM, one of my executive friends, he begged me saying that, Subir, you stay over here. I said, look, a friend of mine, I said, Don, you have a dream to drive rest of your life a GM car, but I have a dream to drive a Rolls. So I'm living so that I can earn enough money so I can buy a Rolls. Right? So at that time, I have nothing in my bag. Nothing. Zero at that time. Right? But I had that dream. And I did not stop until I achieved that. So when I did the real estate deal, I thought I wanted to do a real estate deal with Donald Trump. Just arbitrarily. And then that is the target I did.
I gotta pull that. So, oh my goodness, Subir, seriously, I was glad. I said, I hope you don't invoice me for that knowledge you gave me, Dylan. I hope you don't. So I already got and I'm telling you, folks, if his team, if you're serious and you know somebody that's running a business, there's executives, folks, make the phone call. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just elated. I can't even talk. Everybody knows that never happens, Subir. So good job. You made me unable to speak. That says it all. So folks, real quick, if you are interested in learning about how to work one-on-one with Subir, go to the link below, starleadercollective.com/excellence. All right. And book a call, right, with one of his high-level teammates. Will absolutely change your life from the inside out, right? If you haven't picked that up yet, I don't know what will. So really get results in every facet of your life. And you're talking harmony. And that really intrigues me because I don't want to grow and work and build a business and my daughters leave and don't know who I am, right? It's very, very difficult to build a harmonious and successful, however you define it, life. You're proving that it's not only possible, but you can help guide people through that. You can help them figure that out. And folks, last comment. We can't see the forest from the trees, Subir, right? Sometimes we need someone else that's outside of us to see what we can't see or we won't acknowledge, right? And that's how you fast code, cheat sheet your way past through it. Like, hey, Dr. CJ did that for me, Subir. She'll see me. What's the problem? She'll go, I know exactly what your problem is, and this is how to fix it. I may not like it, but she's usually right. And see, that's why we go to a doctor, somebody who knows it, but can also see, through not just the physical element, but what's keeping us as people here and here. And that's why you excel. You know the formulas. You wrote the books literally on it, but you also understand people because you are one and you never quit being a down-to-earth guy. So that's what I mean. Folks, you all share this guy. Get him out there. If you know great podcasters, great things. Hey, we want to put him in orbit so folks and companies can see this and say, yeah, let's get it to go. All right. Because that's how we change the world, right? More revenue, more money, more impact. Thank you for being you, my friend. And I always mess his name up. Jesse Dublé, I think it is.
Yes.
I don't say his last name because I mess up easy names. But thank you for the intro, my friend. Thank you for being a great guy, connector. He is a swell guy. I can't wait to have him on my show soon. And thank you for this. And let's read what Vincent said. The commonality that I've seen in all successful people is they believed in themselves when no one else did and never gave up.
Exactly.
Real time right here, Subir.
Yep.
No.
Agree with Vincent. Yep.
Yeah. He was paying attention. You could tell, right?
Yes.
So, but folks, no matter where you're at in that journey, just starting off, maybe a few steps ahead like me, or maybe you hit the finish line. Now you're moving a new finish line, new race. You're going to chapter 2. Hey, we got it all. So thank you, Subir. You were excellent. Folks, go to the website, share it, and we'll have him back. If he's willing to come back, I'm willing to have him back. Yeah, I think this is fantastic, my friend.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And folks, tune in next week. You said push up people. So if you give me one side, I have to real quick. There are several countless people that have helped push me up and get me here, Subir. So they, like I said, they get the credit or blame, my friend. But one of them, you're going to meet her very soon, I believe, right? So Tanya Everhart of Brand Face changed my life. She saw me in a comment and lost it. She said, "Did that say Redneck Financial Coach? You got to be kidding me." Reached out to me, had that convo, and changed my life. So one phone call, one convo can really change your life and your business. That's proof positive right there. So thank you, Tanya, for being that. Also, Megan Robinson, E-Leader Experience, accomplished lady. She really helps people in her space and wheelhouse like no other. You all seen her on the show. Go back and watch that show on the YouTube channel. She is top level. Subir, that might be a great phone call and a combo between you all. As you all overlap quite well with each other. She is a phenomenal leader. And this lady just came in and just all the doctors in the Hounds are working with her, I think now. So she's making innovation in healthcare with really rural clinics, right? They need the revenue streams. They need the help. There's all kinds of money out there. They don't know how to contact it. So we're talking doctor, patient care, and everything else. Thank you for tying it together. And last but not least, I definitely want to connect you with these powerhouses. They are doing it like no other. From the ground up, Subir, from dirt. And now these guys are heading the U.S. expansion with the Meta One, Viarta One. Now, because of you, like the same thing you were talking about, just going out there and doing it. That's what they did. Now accredited by Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. So I had to give this shout out because without these folks, we could not be doing what we do in the Hounds. We could not push people up, and we would not be making an impact and a legacy to help people build these businesses so they can make impact. We got folks that are building cancer survivor rate programs. Their cancer survivor rates are going up. It's amazing what's happening because of people like you that are coming together, Subir, and pushing each other up and believing in one another. Thank you for who you are, what you represent. And there you go. Royce Blake. He's a 30-year veteran in radio. He is in podcasting now. Thank you, Royce. He's probably going to be trying to reach out to you.
Wonderful.
And Vincent, hey, appreciate you. So thank you for taking this time. I thought we'd go to midnight. Maybe we take an intermission next time and come back.
All right, my friend.
Talk to you forever. So we'll go ahead. I'll see you backstage. Everyone, Hounds, friends of the Hounds, thank you so much. Dr. Leland, Level Up Academy, thank you for restreaming and hosting with me. And next week we have the one and only, folks, the Redneck Connector here is going to be chopping it up with the Master Connector, Steve Spiro. All right, next week. All right, so he will be on a radio show Tuesday. He'll be right here, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern, next Wednesday. Wow. All right, so thank you. Have a great time. Subir, can't wait to have you on soon. Talk about your successes in round 2 of your career, brother.
Thank you, my friend.
Have a good one, y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.